Hello, welcome so much everyone who has already joined us. You are joining us for the Navigating Uncertainty webinar series. If you're already here, we would like to please request you to add your name and where you're joining us from in the chat, as we just give the rest of the participants a few minutes to join us. So please add your name and where you're joining us in the chat. We'll give just a minute for the rest of the participants to join us, and then we will kick it off. Us from in the chat, and we will be starting in a minute. For notifying us. So if you can hear me, please just add your name in the chat and tell us where you're joining us from, and we will get started. So please, if you can hear my voice, thank you so much. You are joining the second webinar on our webinar series on navigating uncertainty. So please add your name and where you're joining us from, and we will get started in a second. Great. Welcome so much, Joseph. Welcome, Brian. It's good to know that the chat is working. If this is your second time, I'm sure you are excited that our technology is working today. So just to kick us off, this is a webinar series called Navigating Uncertainty. And I will be your facilitator for today. My name is Florence Randari. I am a monitoring, evaluation, and learning professional, and also the founder of LAM Network, where we champion the use of learning and adaptive management to improve program impact. So the webinar series came about because of what is happening in the international development and humanitarian sector, specifically the cut of funding and termination of programs, mostly for USAID partners. And the webinar series has 4 key objectives. The first one is really to affirm this journey, to offer practical grounding, to facilitate visioning and goal setting, and to support you as you explore fresh possibilities. So as I mentioned, this is our second webinar in this series. We have 3 more webinars that will be coming up. And last week we had a webinar on reposition and relaunch that really helped us to turn our experience into opportunities. So today we have a great lineup for you, but I want to ensure that you're able to interact with us, which you're already doing. So we are using Zoom webinars. So we have a couple of features that you can use. The first one is the Zoom chat, where I can see a lot of you engaging already. So that's excellent. We also have a Q&A box. Please put your questions there as we move forward with the webinar. We want to make sure that we dedicate time to just responding to your questions. So please put them there so it's easier for us to see them and respond to them. Also, we have a raise hand icon. At some point, if we have enough time, our moderator will be giving you space to unmute and ask your questions as well. And then today we have a couple of Zoom polls, so we are hoping to engage you. You will see that on your screen once it's launched, and you will be able to engage with us. And lastly, we will also be having a Mentimeter at the end to evaluate how you're finding the webinars and also to share with us what we can do to improve. So for today's webinar specifically, we have 3 key objectives. And the first one is to introduce you to the essential digital skills that are required in today's job market. And the second one is to highlight some practical applications of digital technologies that you can use. And the third one is to inspire confidence in beginning to learn or to upgrade your digital competencies. So without further ado, I would like to introduce Dr. Joshua, who will be taking us to the next part of the webinar. So stay engaged. We will have, before that, actually, I would love to just start with the poll, as I said. So our first poll is really just gauging how you're feeling about your career prospects moving forward. So we have a couple of options. I'm going to launch that now, so you should be seeing it on your screen. Just let us know, how are you feeling about your career prospects? Are you hopeful? Are you a bit uncertain? Are you frustrated? Are you determined? Or you're just trying to stay afloat? So I can see a lot of us engaging already, so thank you so much. Just waiting for a couple more responses before we move on. Thank you for engaging. Great. I see we already have a lot of people who are hopeful. They see tangible new possibilities ahead. That is good. We have a couple of us who are a bit uncertain and frustrated, but that's okay because you are in a good space. We will be sharing some possibilities and opportunities that you can start preparing for and tapping into. Great. So I feel like we have almost half of us who are engaging, and we are going with hopeful. So we have a lot of hopeful people who are seeing tangible new possibilities ahead, but also we have some of us who are just trying to stay afloat, a bit uncertain and frustrated, but you are in the, the space where you should be right now, because we will be encouraging you and also showing you the possibilities that lie ahead. So thank you so much. I will be handing it over to Dr. Joshua to introduce our moderator for today and our speaker. Over to you, Dr. Joshua.
Hello, good afternoon, and good morning, and good evening, depending on where you are logging in. I've seen we've got people from just about around the world, so it is very good to see you. We are so very happy to host you in this second webinar, and Florence has already introduced the objectives. We hope that if you are undergoing a transition, perhaps being part of the people who've been terminated through the USAID implementing partners programs, or indeed any other transition, we hope that you're going to find this series encouraging to you, empowering even. And so we are so very happy that you can join us. We have two speakers and panelists today. One of them has not logged in just yet. Ambassador Professor Demo looks as if he is encountering a difficulty since this morning. I've been trying to call him. He was okay by yesterday, so we don't know whether he's going to succeed to do so, but if he does, we will welcome him. But we are so very happy that Tony Dongo is in the house. And Tony, if we were to introduce Tony properly and say all the things that he has done, the 90 minutes that we have for this webinar will be taken up. Only to say that there will be some information on the screen about Tony that you can look at. He is the founder of Kitabu and a Tribe. He will tell us hopefully what he does in those companies, among quite a number of others. He is a trailblazer par excellence in terms of using AI and digital tools to democratize education and financial access, and quite a number of the things that he has done. He's going to share with us as examples and part of the stories that we hope will encourage you to take a step and not just to feel too bad about where you are, but believe that this challenge could indeed be an opportunity, perhaps even a launch pad into the best future you could have. Before I proceed, I would like us to get Tony to at least greet you. And Tony, I want to start by asking you, first of all, a huge thank you when we came to you and we explained how our colleagues have been terminated. They are going through a transition. You not only empathized and understood, but you said, hey, I'm going to come on board and be part of this webinar series. Let me ask you a question. Have you ever been where these participants are right now? In other words, have you found yourself without a job, without clarity about what is next for tomorrow? So if you can briefly, just in 2 or 3 minutes, tell us about that I'm sure will encourage us. Tony?
so much, Daktari, for having me. I want to make sure that you can all hear me. Can you hear me well? I'm checking if you can hear me. Can you hear me well? Oh, fantastic. I guess Daktari was not able to hear me. But yes, I have very much been in the same situation very many people have been, and not just once, multiple times. And the difference between an entrepreneur and an employee, whether it is on contract or it is on long-term contract, is we tend to get to this position very many times when ideas we come up with fail. So yes, I have been here. I have been here both, not necessarily recently, but I've been here both frequently and in very dire straits. There's a time when a lot of bills were required to be paid. It was around November. December was coming, and January was then coming with school fees, and the kids were moving school and all of that. So I have been able to be here, and I've successfully come out of it, and very successfully, in fact, to the point where I'm very happy to come and participate with you and give you my ideas on what I think is a very big opportunity for everybody here. And I look forward to the conversation.
Thank you very much, Tony, and we look forward to engaging with you a lot more in the next few moments. And let me now introduce the moderator for this webinar. It is my friend, I wanted to say my old friend, except that he's not old, he is actually my younger brother, Jason Oyugi. Jason Oyugi has been in policy consulting for quite a while. And he and I and other consultants who are privileged to be part of the team that worked in USAID programs at the start of devolution. And Jason and I were sent to northern Kenya to support the setting up of the county governments, particularly the Ahadi, and also work with PREG, which is the Partnership for Resilience and Economic Growth for particularly in the northern counties. And Jason, we were working on the first generation of the county integrated development plans, the CIDPs, working on policies for the new governments in the counties, and more recently in joint work planning, particularly between the county government and the USAID implementing partners. And so we are so glad that you are part of this series and helping us particularly today. But let me start with you and ask you the same question that we put to Tony. Is this just theoretical for you, Jason, or have you experienced what our participants have gone through? And if so, when? Tell us about it briefly.
Oh, thank you, Joshua, and good morning, good evening, good afternoon, participants. I'm happy to be part of this conversation. And I think also I'm happy to work with you, Joshua, once again, as always. We have come a long way, and I think as you asked me the question, I hadn't really thought about it until I heard you ask Tony, actually. So it occurred to me that for over 10, perhaps 15 years that I have been consulting, 99% of my work was with USAID-funded partners. So, so when we got this directive, it was a good moment of reflection. I've been through these situations before. The only difference, I think, was that this was involuntary. So that kind of puts you in a different space. I think having looked at it and having sharpened my skills around what we have been doing within the collaboration, learning, and adaptive management space, what it does, it calls on you to dig deep into your skills, your skill sets, and I'm also happy to listen today to the rest of the team, how they are coping. Uncertainty can be disarming, but uncertainty can also be enabling. I think all that one needs to do is to find the appropriate balance and space, and then probably find a way out. But we are here to navigate this together, so happy to be here with everyone, and I am looking forward to the engagement. Thank you to Tony, and thank you everyone who is on the webinar. We are happy to have you on board, everybody. We are also happy with the rest who are joining as they join in. We hope that you will find this compelling and educative as well. We want you to share with us your experiences. We want, at the end, as Florence said, we want to ensure that we participate as much as possible, and we can get the most out of our 1 hour and a half. But let me start back with Tony, and I think, Tony, as you spoke, I know that you have a long experience with this kind of situations, not situations of termination, but situations of transition. And I think Tony is one of those who, with experience in the humanitarian space as well as development space, I think for colleagues who have been in the humanitarian space in particular, you will agree with me that uncertainty is actually part of the job. And that is an interesting dynamic. It always is part of the job until it affects you very personally. And then you realize that some of the skills, as Joshua was suggesting, look like theory. So in our discussions earlier, we have tried to navigate where we are differently in the space, and we have come up with a framework kind of to try to categorize where we are as experts and careers, in our careers and so on, in a framework that I want to show you in a minute. But basically, when we are in this space, we are looking at three things. And these we are going to categorize these as mindsets. As a career person, we will always be either in a space where you are starting, or a space where you are managing your career, that is mid-level, or in a career space where you are at the top end or tail end, where you have done your job well for several years, you have mastered the art, you have the experience, you're recognized, and you're kind of an institution. So these three mindsets, we are calling them the 3 R's: a rebuilder mindset, refiner mindset, and a recognized mindset. And the 3 mindsets are kind of, they build into each other. From the rebuilder mindset, this is kind of for those of us who are perhaps getting into the development space, or let me call it the USAID space, perhaps 1 year or 2 years, like the early part of your career. This is the space we are talking about in terms of a rebuilder, just beginning, moving from perhaps an earlier career, or feeling like you are entering a new world after transitioning from another. And as you know, USAID actually was an interesting employer, because even if you had experience and you got into USAID, you always got into a new world. Even if you are coming in with experience, you will always start afresh. So that is kind of the space we are calling rebuilder space. And for digital and technology space-wise, we are looking at, if you are considering exploring new digital skills, for example, you are asking yourself, how can we take advantage of that to build onto your career, to help you, which for strategic positioning and also for visibility. Then we have the second mindset, which is, of course, the refiner. The refiner is kind of the mid-level career person, or from a digital space-wise, you are trying to figure out how to reposition yourself with digital skills. You have some substantive experience, and you have reached a point where you're beginning to master what you are doing. You're beginning to master, even if it is the use of social tools on LinkedIn. You can work on your pitch, but you're trying to wonder what is the most strategic way to package this. And of course, we know that right now, for example, social media has become a very powerful tool for communicating, for engaging, and for building ourselves. So that is the refiner. One who is graduating into a level of a master, not a master, but perhaps just about to be a master. Let's call the earlier one, the rebuilder one, an apprentice. Then this is a mid-level aspiring master. And then the third level is the recognized. So this is the highest level, and I hope you can see that on your screens. You have led, you have published, you have shaped strategy. You are now focusing on how to be visible. You are focusing on staying sharp, staying influential. You're leveraging on your credibility. You can lead, you can mentor, you can build. So you have a couple of apprentices perhaps that you are supporting and mentoring and capacity building. So I want us to use these three mindsets or three lenses to look and assess it ourselves. And I want each and every one of us in this webinar to try and find which of those mindsets best describes where you feel you are in terms of the use of IT skills, the use of AI and technology to shape your career. Where do you think you are? Do you feel you are a refiner? Do you feel you are a rebuilder? Do you think you are the recognized? Which space do you feel you are? And I want to just launch the second poll where I will expect each one of us to take a vote so that we can see. Think through the three lenses. You just choose one, please. Are you in your career rebuilding? Are you in your career refining? Or are you in your career recognized, the recognized? So we want to see how best, which of these fits us most, so that we can have a much more pointed conversation as well with each one of us. Has everyone got can we get the poll on the screen? Oh, there we go. So yeah, which of these mindsets best describes where you are right now in your career? So you choose one, and we want to see, are you a rebuilder, eager to learn? You lack direction and confidence, but perhaps hopeful? Are you mid-career? You need to reframe or repackage? Are you the recognized? You are established, you are experienced, and I can see quite a good. Refiners mid-level. I see that. That's excellent. Please take a vote. Yes, that's good. We have just gone past halfway with the votes. How many votes should I expect? 70. Okay. So we just passed the 50% mark. We want a high voter turnout. So please take your vote. Where do you feel? Which of these mindsets best describes where you are right now in your career? A rebuilder, a refiner, or recognized? There we go, 43 out of 70. Okay, almost 2/3. And the refiners are ahead. So we'll give you one more minute to turn in the votes. 64% so far are refiners. 26% so far are in the recognized space, and 11% are in the rebuilder space. And that's 2/3 have voted. I don't know if others have abstained. Don't know. Please take a vote so that we can. I'm waiting for 3 more people to. Then we transition. If we hit 50 out of 70, then we will call the poll. So please take a vote. Which of these mindsets best describes where you are right now? $48, and it is stubbornly remained at 48. Oh, there we go, 49. Oh, 50. Good. Thank you. But keep voting. Keep voting, and let's see where we are. The reason why I'm asking you to do this is because, Tony, I want to come back to you. And you can see that you are speaking to a team of refiners. 63% of us are refiners. 27% of us are recognized, and 10% are rebuilders, so at the first stage. So, and Tony, I want to bring you into this conversation. At this point in time, Tony, when we speak to most of us who are mid-level, mid-career, or even from IT-wise, in terms of skills and capability, what should people like us be focused on when it comes to digital skills and redirecting our careers based on, of course, the pace currently of technology and innovation, the digital divide exists today. You know, what is realistic, Tony? Could you just please take us through so that we can listen and learn? Over to you, Tony.
My final destination, as Joshua was coming in from abroad, and I've just landed. So that's a good fortune of land. Can you hear me well? Joshua, I just want to check if you can hear me. Can everyone else hear me? Wondering whether yes, you can. Okay, so I think there's something wrong with the studio folks. The studio folks can hear me. Yeah, so folks can hear me. I don't know. I'm not sure about Jason. Thumbs up if you can hear me, Jason. Let's do this technical thing. Thumbs up if you can hear me, Jason. Let's see. Jason is, I'm glad that the rest of you can hear me. Nice to be here. It's good to see you all. Rosemary, I got you. Mary, I see Priscilla is over here as well. Benta. I'm curious whether Jason, can you hear me? So Joshua, Jason, Veronica, Florence, is there anyone there who can hear me? I just want to make sure that he can. I don't know if he can. I really don't know. Oh, okay. So, yeah, Veronica, you can hear. Okay, I was wondering if Jason can. Point. I think this is, first of all, I want to tell all of you, and I know it's going to sound ridiculous, but you are in the best place you could possibly be in your career in this moment. And let me give you a very specific example as to why. If you go onto LinkedIn right now, you're going to note two things. Number one, Microsoft has just laid off 6,000 people this morning, yesterday night, so, American time. And why is that? Because the AI revolution has started working top down. It started working in technology companies first, as it starts going from technology all the way through development to consumer companies. And I think now is a really good time even just looking at the answers to the question that Jason asked, now is a really good time for you to be where you are because you have two things that very few people have. Number one, you have, I feel, the expertise of working with folks at like USAID and folks in the development space in an African context. That's a rare thing. That's not something that everybody has. That's number one. But number two, you have the hunger to win. And that's usually what happens when somebody pulls the carpet from under your feet. You are determined to make things work. So I think you're in a very good place, not because I do not fully understand what it's like to lose a job opportunity. It's not that I do not understand that there are bills to be paid, kids to go to school, rent, or if it's the house that you own, there's utilities to pay for, fuel. And this government has made it difficult for folks to thrive in that space. That notwithstanding, I think we need to look beyond what Kenya offers and start seeing what the continent has to offer. You have skill sets that are applicable all around Africa. So please do not stop yourself and think that Kenya is the only place you can work. But more than that, and this is probably the best bet, I think there's a big win for folks who are able to take this mid-career challenge and turn it into. So tell me, has this made sense for you? And are you hearing me clearly? And is this speaking to the issues that you were discussing? And I just want to make sure that you can all hear me well. Can you?
Tony, can you hear me? Tony, can you hear me? I think Tony cannot hear me, but we have a problem with Tony's signal. It's... Yes. Everyone is saying there's echo, there's distortion. I don't know if it is your position or it is here. It's there. Okay. My director is saying like there. Okay, it sounds a bit better now. Yeah, yeah, it's clear now. That's right. Thank you, Marceline. Thank you. Thank you, Daisy. Yeah. Better now, yeah. If you don't mind. Thank you.
Companies in the world. And he said this. He said, AI will not take your job. Someone using AI will take your job. You're the someones. You're the first folks who now have an opportunity to go back into the market with AI skill sets. And I was saying before, I said you have got two advantages. Advantage number one is it happened to you early. I feel sorry for the people to whom this is going to happen to in 2 years, in 5 years, when the real change and a new dispensation of technology has started. But because you're first, it means that the opportunity is in front of you. I'll give you an example. My father, who graduated from university in 1972, was one of the first medical students out of the University of Nairobi. And because he was the first medical student in dentistry, there were more scholarships than his year could absorb. He went to London for a year. He went to Australia for a year. He traveled around the world doing scholarships for free because he was one of the first few Kenyans to finish medical school in Kenya. And he came back and he was one of the first 9 dentists Kenya had. And at some point, he was even President Moi's dentist. He was able to build a career for himself and live well because he was the first to get out. The same applies to you. You are the first to get out. You are in your mid-career stage or early late career stage. Now is the time to take advantage of the tools that are out there. Then I guarantee you the next 4 or 5 years, we will know some of your names very loudly because you'll have taken advantage of the opportunity and made something of yourselves. So I think there's good fortune here and there's an opportunity for you to take it up. And I can't wait to discuss that with you as we have this conversation until 5:30.
Oh, thank you, Tony. And I think that's a very interesting perspective to look at in terms of what in business we call it the first mover advantage. So, and I think putting it that way gives it quite a good orientation in terms of what we are seeking to do and perhaps where we are as people, as experts, and so on. But Tony, as you think through that and as you speak to those mindsets and where we are, I just wanted to find out in terms of I don't know that to call it the workspace or the development marketplace out there. Let me call it the marketplace out there. And in terms of readiness to accommodate and integrate, these kind of skill sets that most of us now have and use. What do you think is the level of readiness for the market out there for integration? Or are we going into a place where we are perhaps too way ahead of, and perhaps there is even a difference between, there could be, in terms of the digital divide, perhaps in Africa, that could be very different from perhaps, the development and marketplace out in the other parts of the world. How does that look like?
And that's a very good question because you're asking basically what is the ratio of demand versus supply. And I want to be very clear in saying that the development agency space is unique on this continent for two reasons. Number one, there's nowhere else in the world that the demand for developmental skill sets is as high as Africa. Yes, let's talk about USAID, but let's not forget there's also CEDA, and those are two CEDAs, both the one that comes from Sweden and the one that comes from Canada. There's DFID, and then there's JICA and all of those. Then let's move from those national ones to the regional ones. We're talking IRC, ICRC, and everything in between, and World Vision, and that's just the development space. We haven't now moved from the development space and talked about the commercial space, who still work in a pseudo-developmental area. So we're talking about even the Safaricoms of this world who have got M-Pesa Foundation, who are doing work in a somewhat development area. We used to call it CSR/CSI. That is happening still. There's a lot of demand because even in these spaces, the impact of America of the African space has opened up gaps for a lot of Africans themselves to take up jobs that were primarily focused on the expat community. So you're finding a lot of Africans now, whereas before they were looking inward toward Kenya from a lens of being employed by USAID, they are now looking inward to Kenya from a lens of now being employed by an M-Pesa Foundation, for example. And there's other partners, including MasterCard Foundation, Jacobs Foundation, and the like, who are looking to get Africans to implement African solutions themselves. As you all know, there's a very big drive to focus on Africa through Africans' eyes. So I think the demand is there. What is lacking, and I'm not going to be naive about this, is the positioning. A majority of people who have been taking up these jobs have either not been qualified or have not been African in and of themselves. I think here's where the opportunity sits and screams loudly for the 70-something plus, 60-something plus people in this conversation. You have the opportunity to position yourselves now as leaders of these developmental spaces. So whereas you are working as consultants for the likes of the USAID, you are now working as leaders in developmental spaces, and I guarantee you that the seats around those tables exist. So I feel like the opportunity now is really there for you to position yourself as the champion for Africans doing things for Africa, in whether it is gender-based violence, in youth empowerment, in the medical spaces, in humanitarian spaces, whatever space you're in, the space is now empty. a majority of the expats that have been pulled out of those seats have been pulled out because USAID has pulled out. And now it's an opportunity for you to take up those spaces. So I think the opportunity is definitely there, but you definitely have to do more in placing yourself in the right way, in positioning yourself in the right way to take up that opportunity. I hope this is clear.
Sure. Thanks, Tony. And that's a very good response, which I want to follow up with one quick one. But I have also seen the point from Michael Mushiri. Is it possible to harness the contribution that Africans make in terms of remittances, investments back home to create a vehicle that can address development initiatives in Africa? And this may also provide opportunities for professionals being laid off. I think that's a wonderful opportunity there, and I agree with Michael entirely. But Tony, connected to what Michael is saying, because the US government was fairly ahead, or is fairly ahead in terms of digital technology and so on. When you have to make a transition from USAID, which is the public space, into a private space, is that a smooth transition? Is it something that needs reskilling, new tools, or we've got what it takes to make that transition? Yes.
Be very open and very honest. The reason why AI is moving in leaps and bounds is because it's new to everyone. Let's just be honest about that. It's not been in the industry for too long. Even to Michael Mushiri's point, everyone, whether you are in the diaspora or you are in Africa, whether you are in development agencies or you're in commercial agencies or you're an entrepreneur, this opportunity you have mentioned about remittances and investment, it's open to you. But how do you harness it? I think this is the question that you have asked, Jason, to some extent. This is what I would suggest immediately. Everyone on this call who's under the sound of my voice, pull out your smartphone, because I know you have them. Get onto either the Play Store or the App Store, depending on what device you're using, and get one of these or all of these 5 apps. Download ChatGPT, download DeepSeek, download Cursor, or not Cursor, sorry. I remember that. Claude, spelled C-A, I'll put them in the chat. Download Le Chat, which is the French version, and download Gemini, which is from Google. One of those chatbots works for you. And then take it, and I'm going to use my ChatGPT app to do this for you. Take it, open the application, open up a new chat, and that's what I'm doing right now. And then on the new chat for ChatGPT, all of them have a speak to me function, which is a white button I'm going to show you over there. And then take it, and when you open it up, and I want you to do, I'm just going to give a very practical example right now. Speak to it. Now, this is me giving you an example. My name is Tony Ndongo. I am based out of Kenya. I am 45 years old, and I have a background in entrepreneurship. I am having a conversation with folks who used to work for or partner with USAID. And these folks, because of changes in the presidency and Donald Trump and the decisions he's made at a federal level, have been let go. And I want to speak to them about the opportunity in the humanitarian space and what they can be able to do with their skill set. And I'd like you to give me some suggestions. Could you give me 5 very specific suggestions I could share with them on what they should do and how they can leverage on AI to succeed? And then I've pushed that button up and I've just said, do it. So what it does is it transcribes my text, and then it starts giving me an answer. You can do this now. This is something you can do this now on your mobile phone immediately. This is not unique to me. You can do this now. And then once it's, as you can see, it's writing them down, and I'm going to start playing it in just a moment when it's done. It gives me pivot to an AI-powered localized development. I will read it out for you. And when it's done with all of that, and you can be able to access this, it even gives you the option of playing it out. For example, and let me do this for you so you can hear it, right? So I've now pressed listen.
Suggestions you can share with your audience of ex-USAID professionals on how they can pivot into new humanitarian opportunities and leverage AI to pivot to AI-powered localized development consulting. Opportunity. Their deep expertise in program design, monitoring, and evaluation is still highly valuable for NGOs, local governments, and social enterprises. AI leverage. Use AI tools for rapid needs assessments, predictive analytics for development outcomes, and automated reporting.
And it'll do this for you irrespective of who you are. And this is what I've been telling folks. The reason why over the last year, a lot of my career and my companies, which have now both raised almost $1 million, have been succeeding is because I have made ChatGPT my companion. I have almost 2 years of conversations I've had with ChatGPT. It's allowed me to be able to apply for grants. It's allowed me to be able to write partnership agreements with folks. It's allowed me to be able to come up with new ideas and suggest partnerships. It's allowed me to stay afloat in terms of all the things that are happening on AI around the world. And the reason for that is because it's become my second brain. My point to you is this opportunity is now available for you and you have the time to use it. So the same way you're all saying, how do I get up? Then use ChatGPT to be your brain. Don't just use it for, I want to go and make dinner. People are using it for ingredients and turning it into meals. Give it your life story, give it your career, upload your CV, upload your reports, upload the work you've done, and then say, what opportunities right now are available, for example, on LinkedIn, that I can be able to apply for? What opportunities are out in the world? What grants can you find? Or you find grants and then you use them, you use your knowledge on ChatGPT to respond to those grants. Listen, the opportunity is in front of you. I cannot emphasize more how much the opportunity is in front of you. I have asked you to download one of 5 apps and to talk to it like you talk to a person. This is in your hands. Nobody is standing between you and your success except you and Safaricom data connectivity. You're done. I don't know if that makes sense and if there's anything else I should add to that, Jason.
It does. It does. Thank you, Tony. I'm smiling because I had voted. I thought I was mid-level, but I've realized I'm a rebuilder. And Irene Gadinji, I hope you have leapfrogged. That was really nice.
Right now, I dare say, is a rebuilder.
Sure.
And it would be ignorant for anyone to think that their sector will not be changed by AI. It would be crazy to think that. Let me give you context. When ChatGPT 3 came out in November 22nd, 2022, its IQ was roughly 100. When ChatGPT 4.0 mini came out just a few weeks ago, its IQ was 180. Einstein's IQ is 160. In a year, when we are facing ChatGPT 5.0 mini or ChatGPT 6, its IQ is estimated to be at 500. There is absolutely no human on the planet who will be better than an AI chatbot by the end of 2026. That's a year and a half away. That's 18 months away. So what is it going to look like in 2 years when PricewaterhouseCoopers and Deloitte and KPMG and Ernst & Young are doing all their auditing with AI chatbots, which cost $7 a month versus $7,000 for their employees, whether they are in Indonesia, in Hong Kong, in London, in New York, or in Nairobi. So you are in a fortunate state of being affected early. And now you have 18 months of runway to reskill yourself by just downloading a tool and using it. So Jason, yes, we are all there. I am also there with you. And I will keep learning as I go, but I will take advantage of it because I have time, which is what most of the folks who have a 9 to 5, 9 to 7 work Monday to Saturday don't have. So yes, we are in a very good place, my friend. Very good place.
Thank you, Tony. And thank you too for the comments from Francis, Sheila, and Jackie. I think they've been using this for long. Patrick, thank you. I've seen your feedback. Tony, I want to get into a poll based on just what you have said, but this is very personal. Do you think my work as a consultant is at risk here?
I'm going to tell you this, and I want to tell you this with so much clarity. If you are a consultant, work is at risk. If you are a consultant using AI, your work is going to explode. You will be the one taking all the other consultants' jobs. As I said before, AI is not going to replace people. People using AI will replace people. I want you to be the person using AI. Let me give you an example of it. There's a lot of AI experts in Kenya. I do not know how to code. I have taught myself everything I know about AI on YouTube, every single thing. And then In October 2023, which is not last year, the year before, my friend Sebastian Wafula insisted that I should get on social media. He said, I'm good at telling stories. And so I did. And I talked about AI a great deal. And what happened was a lot of the content I created started being shared amongst people in AI communities around the world. And now I am being invited to different countries, fully paid for trips, business class, to be able to speak about the opportunities for AI in Africa. What did I do different? One thing. Number one, I put myself out into the world. And number two, so it's one thing, but it's in two parts. I showed the world what I could do. The one thing I did was I expressed myself, or I put myself out there. I took the risk. That's the one thing I did. I took the risk. There's so many people who have got so much more expertise than I do, but they're not willing to take the risk and put themselves out into the world. So to you who are here, there's no one who's going to come and take your job as long as you engage with AI and are loud enough to the world and show them what you're doing. I'm not saying go on social media. It's not for everyone, I accept. But get on LinkedIn. Do a white paper on why AI is going to affect your specific space. Write a short 2-page report. Put a paragraph out. Let people see you in this new place. They're like, oh, Florence used to be doing this and that. And now she's coming up with ways in which AI can support the things she does in this and that space. Someone in Australia will see it and be like, this is what we need. We need somebody thinking outside the box, whether they are from Kenya or wherever they are from. So this is the opportunity you have that your colleagues in other companies or organizations that have not been sent home don't have. Show me what you can do with that AI tool. And I've seen people here saying, Ida is saying she uses Claude, and more folks are doing. Show me what you can do with it. Boniface, what are you doing with it? Francis, what are you doing with it? Sheila, what are you doing with it? Jacqueline, what are you doing with it? You've had it 2 years. Show me publicly on LinkedIn what you're doing with your ChatGPT tool. Let people start following you. Let them put up a write-up. Go on ChatGPT and say, give me a picture of where it gives you a piece of art. Post it. That's how you start leveraging on AI. That's how you make sure that you're the consultant Tony hires when he wants somebody to do something in the development space, but wants somebody who's AI ready. What does it take? 10 minutes with ChatGPT. If you do that twice a week on LinkedIn, the job is yours.
Thank you, Tony. I want to echo the words of Joseph Mungai, because I'm in that category. This YouTube advert on AI for over 40 and 50 is a real thing. I came to moderate, but I'm so excited to listen. Now that thing makes sense to me. And when Tony says the people will replace the rest are the ones using AI, now I get it. Let me go back to the question Irene raised, and I want to put out a poll here for us. Basically, this is to measure, in terms of our biggest barrier to leveraging on digital skills. When you listen to Tony, I want us to poll, how do we feel? Do you feel like you don't know where to start? Do you feel you are short on time and motivation? I'm putting out a poll out there. We want to see, yes, there you go. Based on what that very illuminating exposure by Tony, that was really fantastic. What's your biggest barrier to leveraging digital skills right now? Please take one choice. I don't know where to start. I'm short on time or motivation. I don't see how it connects to now that will not get anybody, I think. I'm overwhelmed by the options. The job market in Africa isn't ready. What do we think? So let's see what is the audience. Yes, Patrick Madori, I agree. That advert is real. I agree. So there we go. 35 have voted. I'm overwhelmed by the options. Yeah, I hear you guys. I don't know where to start. So far, 46% overwhelmed by the options, 30% I don't know where to start, short on time and motivation. And then the job market ain't ready. Interesting. Let's more of us vote. There we go, 40. Let's keep voting. And we want to see what we pick from that. And I see Marceline's question. Tony, employers don't want any trace of AI guidance on CVs. It's clearly stated on job adverts. That's an interesting one. I will be happy to hear how Tony responds to that. And I think that's what Mushiri is making, the point Mushiri is making as well. Let's vote. We are at 47. How many are we now? We are 70. I'm waiting for the 50th. So as we wait for the 50th, Tony, I hope you can see the question. I really like the point Marceline has raised there, and Michael as well. Employers don't want a trace of AI guidance. So, yeah. So I hope Tony, you can speak to that. And Leah was hearing from 22 weeks ago, working on a document to refine. Oh, that's good. Thank you, Leah. I see two from Priscilla, and I wished we could also get someone from HR. Is that all the votes in? We have 45% are overwhelmed by the options. That so far is the highest. And 29% are, I don't know where to start. The job market ain't ready, 10%. And I think this speaks to the point that Mushiri and Marcelina are raising. Tony, do you want to start with that conversation in terms of readiness? Is this something that we need to start getting worried about or concerned about?
Let's keep the poll there,
yes.
so that so we can have a conversation about it. Now I want to start with the first one. I don't know where to start. Let me give you the two things you should do. Mm-hmm. Number one, the chatbot. There'll be only two things. Number one, start talking to it. That's the first. Only two are set. That's number one. Number two, if you want to understand AI, simply, I've put a YouTube link that I would like you to go watch on the chat. It's going to it is one of the simplest explanations of artificial intelligence you'll ever see by somebody who worked in most a lot. She simplified it. It's 1 hour 47 minutes, but it's YouTube. You can fast forward, and she does it using little images, like little. I'm even allow me to share my screen just quickly, so I can show you what I mean. Here, share. So I'm gonna come back. You can see she does it using cars, and it's such a simple, very easy way to do it. And then it also helps you see, because she's talking about how to make money with AI and how to help it improve your life. She's speaking to the challenge that you're having, right? So the link is there, and it's clear. I just want to make just tell me if everybody has. Can you see it?
Yes.
Maybe somebody say yes.
Like Kai is not just one thing.
Okay, great. So I'm going to remove that sharing, and then I'm going to poll is there. Okay, fantastic. All right, so hopefully that's a good place to start. Get a ChatGPT type chatbot. Ask the question. Ask ChatGPT the question. This is who I am. This is what I do. How do I start? And ChatGPT will speak you through, or Claude, or whatever you're using, will talk you through how to start. If you're short on time or motivation, let me speak to being short on time. You spend 30 minutes a day on your AI chatbot. That's enough. I usually try to do that. For me, I use it all the time, every single moment. At least every hour, I speak to ChatGPT at least 5 times. But when I started, I would do it in the morning, quiet time. Before I've checked my phone for WhatsApp, before I've done that, I'd sit down and I'd be like, ChatGPT, this one I use. What is my plan for today? Based on the things I'm trying to accomplish, where should I start? And I used to start by creating objectives for the day. 30 minutes. At the end of the day, I talk to it about what I accomplished. It remembers for the next day and we keep going. If you're short on motivation, this is an interpersonal issue, and I totally understand it. And I feel here there's an opportunity for us to speak about the trauma and grief of losing a job. And there's a space for you to speak to a professional. I think it's very important for us not to glaze over this. It's very difficult when you lose a position at work, because a lot of us, the first thing you ask somebody after you ask them what's your name is you ask them, what do you do? And when that carpet is pulled from under you, it can be devastating. So I think there's space for us to have a conversation with a professional, right? And I think it's really important to have that. That should sort your motivation out. And I think it's important to do so. On the next one, I don't see how it connects to my knowledge base of interests. AI is like the internet. It's in fact being compared to electricity. It may not connect to your knowledge base of interests now, but I guarantee you it will have more impact on your knowledge base of interests in a few months than you would even be comfortable with. My suggestion is get engaged anyway. Just get involved. Start somewhere. Put aside a few minutes to start somewhere. I'm overwhelmed by the options. I understand this. This is why I've said just get one chatbot and then watch the video I've shared. I think it's called the analysis paralysis process can keep you from moving forward. Pick one and move forward. I think that gets you away from having to look at all those. I've seen that advertisements of if you're 40 and above, ignore that. Just get one chatbot and use that. The last part, the job market in Africa isn't ready, is the part I am personally loving the most. Because so many people think that for those who don't think that way, the opportunity is wide open. Context. The UNDP needed somebody to pull off an AI implementation tool in Unilag, or University of Lagos. And they were looking for someone to do it, and they couldn't find until one of their staff members saw a video I did where I spoke at the G7 in Rome. There's a whole story about
Did we lose Tony?
I flew to New York.
Okay. Sorry.
I'm still here. Did you lose me?
No, we are
Can you
good.
hear
We
me?
are good now.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, for like 5 seconds.
Okay, here I am. So I'm saying, as people are saying the job market in Africa isn't ready, I said I put something on socials. I happened to have gone for a trip in Rome. I spoke up at the G7 again because there was nobody who was available to do it. I ended up in New York, courtesy of their payments, to fly and see the Assistant Secretary General of UNDP in Africa. And I got this engagement to deploy AI in the University of Lagos in Nigeria. There are 260 million people in that country. There are 50 million people in this one, 56 million. And between Kenya and Nigeria, there's another 200 million people standing in between. What was the opportunity? The opportunity was there was no one standing up for African AI. And because I took that opportunity and spoke to it, both on my socials and my LinkedIn, I was invited to do the engagement. What I'm telling you is the opportunity is there. The opportunity is there because people think the job market in Africa isn't ready for AI. The analogy I'll give you is a salesman goes into a new country and finds that nobody has shoes. Which one of these salesmen will you be? Will you go back to your boss and say, let's not open a factory there? Nobody's wearing shoes. Who are we going to sell to? We shouldn't open a factory. Or should you tell your boss, let us go and open a factory there? Can you imagine no one has shoes? We must make sure everybody's wearing the shoes. A big adage is put this way. Whether you say you can or you cannot, you are right. It is really based on what you decide. I have decided I can, and therefore I am doing it, even if my skill set isn't as high as one who's professionally involved in AI. I will end up hiring that person to do the work for me. But the opportunity is mine because I dared to try. And that's my point to you. Dare to try, even when you think there's no market for it. You'd be very surprised in 2 years, this thing that you are ignoring is the thing that makes your name be spoken out commonly in development agencies as the person who's the go-to person because you were the first to do it. As we said before, first mover advantage. You just need a chatbot on your phone and to watch the YouTube link I've sent you.
Yeah, Tony, that's useful, and and thank you for that. I've seen the point that Rosemary, I hope you are getting the confidence that AI is for ordinary people. But there is a conversation that is on the chat box between Priscilla and Michael and who else? Marceline. Tony, if we are talking about AI, as I'm talking of it as a user, okay? I'm not an AI, I'm not an IT guy. I cannot promote it. I don't know all these things. Like, I don't know 10% of the things you are saying. But I can do what you told me to do because I've actually downloaded one. And now, if I put it on my CV, employers flag it as you have used AI to generate information, and that this is becoming a hindrance. Is that something you can speak to in terms of the readiness of employers to embrace? I think this is the question that the team is asking from Priscilla and Marceline and Michael. Do you think we are there yet?
When you're writing a CV, do yourself the favor of once you've written the CV and you're checking the CV, you make sure that you edit it out yourself, right? As I said, I was talking about the UNDP project. As per requirement, I did have to create a CV, and I used ChatGPT to do it, put my information there, my qualifications, all of that, and it wrote it out for me. And then I put it on Google. I don't use Word, I use Google Docs. I put it on Google Docs, and I change the text so that it fits the person I'm applying to. And I use that, and I put it on my server for the application, and it was successful. I think to your point, your question about the text that comes out of ChatGPT, edit the thing. Put some effort. Make sure that if it's too wordy, you make it short. If it's too short, you make it wordy. Whatever it is you need, be involved. Don't be lazy. Do the work, number one. Number two, this is important. There's a way in which you can sell your skill set so that anybody who is looking to employ you sees you as a future-proofed employee. They're not going to employ you short-term. They're going to employ you long-term. AI is that tool. And if an employer doesn't recognize that, I guarantee you that's the wrong employer, because in 3 to 6 months, they will sack you again, or they'll push you out of the business, or they'll say you're not the right person, or they're not the right fit, because they're going to be pushed out of that space by an agency that is using AI. I've been part of implementing agentic AI in some of these agencies, and they have given us NDA, so I can't mention them. But I can guarantee you right now, there's 2 agencies in Kenya that have already started planning to pull out or push out staff over the next 4 months. And you're going to hear it, and you're going to know you heard from me first. Because about 30% of the workload that the agency has is now being dealt with by 2 AI agents that work 24/7, make less than 90% error rate. So they have less than 10% error rate. So they'll need 1 person. But a whole department of 12 has been reduced to 1 person because of 2 AI agents that cost $7 a month. $7 a month. That's 1,000 shillings times 2, 2,000 shillings. And they're going to finish off the process. How long before that process is adopted by other agencies? So to that specific question of AI in your CV, get involved and do the work so that AI doesn't write everything, right? But number 2, In your CV, add that you are knowledgeable of AI tools that can benefit the organization, lessen the workload, and increase the efficiency at reduced cost. That's something you have to mention to future-proof the organization from the changes that are happening in the world. I think if you do those two things, you should be safe. From a good employer, at least. We can't guarantee every employer is thinking that way.
Sure. Thanks, Tony. And then two questions again. One from Lynn. I think you can see that on the chat box. But I also have Ranel. Ranel wants to make a comment. Ranel, can you make your addition or question?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Really quick.
Sure.
Good to see you, Tony. I'd anticipated moderating this, and then I got pneumonia.
Yeah.
So names Joseph Mungai, Sheila Karani, people who are expert in the work that they do. And so does using AI, because I've used AI to leapfrog competencies that I don't have. Been able to build a website with AI. I don't know how to code. I'm not a power user on Excel, but I can do some sort of analysis that someone like Joseph Mungai can do with statistics software. So does this mean that the proficiencies in some of the traditional competencies that we are expert in, or a lot of panelists are expert in, are no longer needed because of AI? Should we be thinking about becoming certified data scientists or statisticians to be able to use SPSS and all these things? Or do we not need that anymore? Do we need to just master AI?
That is such a good question. And it's actually underpinning an ideological conversation that I was so fortunate to have at Harvard Business School less than 2 months ago, where we talked about the power of the generalist. Let me give you context. Previously, I'm looking for a tool I can use. If you think of a spoon, previously a spoon could only do one thing. And we were known to try and be like spoons, where you are trying to be a subject matter expert, which is what a lot of people feel pride in being called. But in a generation where AI can come and generally do everything 80% better than everyone, is your special skill set valuable? Or is it more sensible to be a generalist, kind of like a Swiss knife, where I can pull out a knife if I need to, I can pull out scissors, pull out a fork, pull out a spoon, pull out a saw, pull out a bottle opener? There is power in being a generalist when being a specialist adds no value. So to your very powerful question, you don't need to learn data science. In fact, it is to this point that I think it was Rosemary asked, Ms. Mbogo, do I need to be an expert at AI? No. Ranel has just talked about building a website and she doesn't know how to code. This is a whole website. It's got pages, it's got a theme, it's got colors, it's got images. She didn't know how to code. That means that there's a website developer somewhere in the world that's not going to get Ranel's money, because now Ranel can do it for herself. How many more things can she do for herself? Doesn't it make more sense for Ranel not to learn data science, not to learn coding, not to learn machine learning and AI, to just use the AI tool? This is why I've gone back to my previous point of saying AI will become very much a utility, like the internet or power. There used to be a time young people used to go to IAT, which is a training facility here in Nairobi about 20 years ago, to be taught how to use the internet. I'm going to leave you with that for a moment. We used to teach people how to use the internet. Now everybody has it on their phone stat. Now my children, 14 and 12, are digital natives. I've never taught them how to use the internet. For them, it is like electricity. You walk into a house, you put on the light and the power goes on. That's what AI is. And everyone here is in the early stages of seeing this revolution. You don't have to learn anything special, Rosemary. Download the chatbots and use them. And to the question that Leanne has asked about ethical AI use, again, you are professionals. And I keep speaking to you being professionals and saying, don't plagiarize. Get involved in the content. Upload your own data. Try your best to put as much of yourself in the content that is created as possible. Don't cheat. This is where, the value of AI will be found. In you taking what you have and supercharging it, not in you cheating by taking what somebody else has created or not doing the work. You are subject matter experts already. I actually believe this is the point of AI. Let's make you superhuman by making you more efficient, more eloquent, and just more productive. And this is what AI generally does. You're going to do 50% of the work 100 times faster and be able to get 500% more efficient at what you're doing. If we can do that, I think there's a lot of power in the things that you're going to be doing with AI.
Great, thank you, Tony. And then there's a last question there from Lois. Can you, it's a quick one. Are there people like you who train like on AI and associated tools?
Yes, there are. As I've had the good fortune of training quite a few companies myself. We're not many, we're about 4. In the whole country, we are 4 people. What? 4. None of us have a degree in AI at all. And we're training the likes of Deloitte, the likes of KPMG. We just did Safaricom maybe a week and a half ago, UNDP. The list, I think we're on 20 countries, 20 companies now in 5 countries. That's already an opportunity for you. It's an open space. And again, what did I do? I spent my time behind YouTube videos, watching, learning, understanding. And I picked up on certain things that I'm interested in that I want to teach on. For example, ERPs, customer success, human capital or human talent advancement, and technology, specifically in education and finance. Those are the things I picked, and those are the things I'm learning. But nobody's talking about gender-based violence. Nobody's talking about universal digital identities. Nobody's talking about medical toolkits and tool sets. Nobody's talking about diagnostics. Nobody's talking about using data like SPSS and interacting with data from malaria or supporting county governments in registering people who have of low income or people with HIV and AIDS. No one is talking about that. That could be you. So to your point of who's doing the training, we are all learning from YouTube. We are very small. It's a small market. It's a big opportunity for you. I think you should take it up and learn what is out there in the market, and then become a consultant to all the clients that are out here who need your help.
Thank you, Tony. I was just looking at Joshua here. I think we need this guy for 2 days, right? I'm overwhelmed. What was that option again? I'm overwhelmed by the, let me see, by the options. So I have to go back, Tony, and listen to the recording. And then see where we start, because I have today got so much. Let me see, there's a last question from, the time is due. I agree, Jacqueline. And I have mismanaged this so much because I had wanted people to ask verbally, but I have been very excited to read the questions on the text, on the chat box. Colleagues, I think you see this is something we are just getting started on. There's somebody who said we are just scratching the surface. But clearly, I think this opens a whole new world of possibilities. And I think my take home from Tony is AI will not replace people. People using AI are going to be the ones who take your job. I think that was really a powerful message. But I think I want to transition this now. I want to go back to Joshua. Joshua, I want you to find out the mood in the house about this really, really exciting exposure. Will we share the recording? Can I say yes? Joshua? Yes. With permission from Tony. Yes, we will. That has been really exciting. So, Joshua, can I get this back to you?
Yes, and
thank you.
What we'll do is let's just get a bit of a evaluation and your response about what you have learned. So if you could just log into mentimeter.com or use the QR code, that would be lovely. So everyone, please log in. Either through menti.com, and then use the code 26044456, or use the QR code. We want to get some responses so that Jason and Tony can comment on this. So I'm only seeing 2 people who've logged in. I want many more. Okay, so I want to move from this slide. So please either use the QR code or menti.com and use the enter the code. Enter the code. Okay, and that will remain at the top. Okay.
Okay, there we go. What are your top 3 takeaways?
So if you have 3 or more than 1, put 1 and enter or submit, and then write the other and submit, and you do the same for the 3rd.
Oh, I like this. Better imperfect action than perfect inaction. That's good. AI is the way to go. Yeah, that's correct. Start learning AI for 30. I'm going to do that. Start learning AI for 30 minutes daily. Yeah, I think that's a good one. AI will not take away my job. Yes, exciting. The opportunities are unlimited. I am qualified. We should give certificates for the participants. I'm qualified to use AI. That's nice. Start learning AI daily. I think that's a good one. We are in the best season for transitioning. Use of AI is a critical skill. That is a good point. It's not an option. I have to learn and use it. That is very correct. Start speaking to chatbot. I'm going to be talking for the next 30 minutes to my phone. So I've got something to do in traffic. I'll be talking to AI daily. AI will not replace you. Yes, that is right. Jason will take it if I don't. I'm not using AI myself. I'm still overwhelmed. So use AI regularly. Yeah, AI is not for specialists. I like the confidence. We are at the right time to lead change. Yes, that's correct. And we have also had, I think it was Irene who was talking about ethics. Adopt ethical use. That's good. Adapt or perish. That's a good one.
Okay. Let me just make a comment here that sometimes I'm Joshua, just in case you can't see me. Sometimes I'm doing meetings of, say, 300 or 400 people. And if I am doing a Mentimeter like this, and I want to analyze all this, it will be very difficult. But with the AI, it's very easy, as I'm going to demonstrate to you. So I'm going to sort out all these responses by the click of a button, and AI will do it for me.
Oh, that's a nice one. I thought I was ahead of you, Joshua, but you seem to be miles ahead. Let me see what that reveals. The slides will come from the team. Start sorting the circles from squares. And, oh, there.
Right.
Oh,
As you can see,
I can see.
37 responses, AI adoption, then we have continuous learning, then we have opportunities, and then taking action. Now, if I want to disaggregate each of them, I do that, and I can actually edit the main heading. So if I want to say here, AI adoption is the way to go, then as you can see, I can do it. So this is just an illustration of how AI can help you in doing all kinds of things. Okay.
Wow.
Let's go to the next question.
That's a nice one.
So this is the second out of 5 webinars. So please tell us what we should improve for the next webinars. So someone says we should increase time. Get right into the meat. Add time. Today it seemed very short. So Tony, can you stay for a day?
2 days, not one.
Very good. Let's have more. So bring Tony Dongo again. He's amazing. Okay, keep them coming, keep them coming. We've got one more slide, and then we'll do the closing.
Tony for president.
Tony for
I
president.
think that is there.
If he's president, he will not be available to help us.
That's a good one.
Okay. Apologies again that we were not able to have a Bassett demo. Something must have happened last minute, and we apologize for that. Okay, let me just sort this out, and we'll have one more slide. Okay, so as you can see, how AI can really help you. Okay, the last slide, please rate your overall experience. Okay, keep them coming, keep them coming. As you can see, 96%. You are saying you are very satisfied with the speaker. Wow. Wonderful. I think we'll. If you haven't voted, go ahead and do it. I'll just remove this from so that Florence can close the meeting for us.
Thank you so much, everyone, for staying along. It was great to see the energy today and the participation. We are very, very excited. Just as we remind you, this is the second of the 5 webinars. So next week on Tuesday, which will be the 20th, at exactly 4 p.m., we will be having our 3rd webinar, which is on beyond employment. We will be exploring some ideas on entrepreneurship. You will get a chance to engage and ask questions. If you're thinking about pivoting to entrepreneurship, we will have some discussions on emerging market trends and what are some of the things that you need to do. And we will have the pleasure of having Paul Makolosi, who is the Managing Director of DHL Worldwide Express, and also Jen Maiguer, who is the Managing Director for Nut Processing and Export at Exotic EPZ Limited. So we have a great lineup for you. We can't wait for you to come and engage and look for opportunities beyond employment. We'll be sharing the registration link in this chat, but also in a follow-up email where you will get the slides and the recordings from today's webinar. So thank you so much, everyone. Keep engaging, share the link with others who would benefit from this webinar series. Thank you so much and have a great time. Until next week on Tuesday, same time. See you then. Bye-bye.